Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is your girl, Kat Harvey, and the
And
beautiful.
Christine. Hello, everybody.
It is so good to see you all on this beautiful Saturday morning. It's a little
Yeah.
nippy here today, so
And, we share about the same weather. So it's been like 60s all week. So, we still have the windows cracked and the sunroof open. But today I said, okay, Jack Frost, welcome.
nipping at our nose. So we just want to
Yeah.
invite everyone in, come in, come in, come in. Very
Yeah.
excited about our show today. We have a great speaker. We're going to talk about
Yes.
things to dream about. We're going to talk about life experiences. We're going to
Mhm.
talk about new adventures. So I'm very excited about that. So, how was your week, Christine?
You know what? My week has been good, a little hectic, but good. And I think it's important to just always kind of find the peace within the chaos.
Absolutely.
But my week has been good. I'm pretty sure your week has been great because your hair looks great. So, excuse me. But what about you? How's your week been?
What I resonated myself today was this is about giving thanks, right? As we go into this Thanksgiving season and as we go into this harvest time. So I just want to be thankful for whatever, everything. It was a trying week, but I'm just thankful that I made it,
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
want to even ask our
Simple
audience,
thing.
yeah, when they come on, what are some of the things that you're thankful for? And
I love
even
it.
as we're talking, what are some things that you're thankful for, Christine?
I mean, I hate to sound regular and somewhat churchy, but hey, health and strength, man, life, the ability to move, blink my eyes, and the fact that I am sitting upright instead of laying horizontal. So,
That part.
simple thing. But my revelation in this particular season, which is what is still just kind of on my heart and I'm grateful for, is that God is just always with me. He is always with me, and there is not one single situation that he will not be. And that and this the deep part right here. Okay, everybody lift your hands and receive it.
All right. We're
If
ready.
right. If he doesn't move the mountain, that does not mean that he's not there, and it does not make him any less of God. That just means that he's still with you. And maybe this is something you need to either traverse up or find a way around. But in all of that, he is still with you. So storms and hard times don't make God any less of who he is or unable. That's just not the way he's going to do it that time. So that's what I'm grateful for the most because that has brought me a lot of peace. Like I was saying, just in craziness and just in some uncertainty. It's like, but I'm still here. I'm still sure. I'm still stable. So, hey, I'm grateful for God. What
I,
about you, Kat?
I love it. I'm just grateful for family and for loved ones, even if your family is not biological or blood. God has a way of sending people into our lives
Doesn't
that
he, though?
are family, that become more than brothers, more than sisters, more than
Yeah.
aunties, more than moms. I know both of us have lost our moms, and a
Yeah.
mother is something that you just cannot replace. But He
Not at
will put people in your life, mother figures
all.
in your life, and I'm just so grateful for that. And so I lost my mom and my dad, and He
Yeah.
has given me people in my life, not that they can replace them, but people in my life
Yeah.
that can give me guidance,
I
that
love that.
can share wisdom.
Yeah.
Because many times, especially during the season of the holidays, we can feel alone. But I thank God
Mm,
that He's given us that kind of that hope in the future. So
yeah. Yeah.
so that's a great segue into the person that we have coming with us.
Isn't it, though?
We have Pebbles Dockery. I don't know what to say about this. She's an awesome, awesome person. She's
Yes, she is.
she's a hairstylist, but she's developed formulas that help heal your hair, grow your hair, develop your hair. She's also a health coach. She's also a healing coach. She does travel. She does so many things. I don't want to do her disjustice by saying what she is or what she is not. I'm going to let her do that. But we titled this episode "Dare to Dream," and I really believe that Pebbles is going to share a lot on that subject.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited as we welcome her to the studio and to the stage. So I know I see we don't have viewers yet, but I know we will have people come on
Yes.
and watch it later, because I know a lot of people do watch our episodes, especially as we post them to our YouTube channel. But here we are, Pebbles. Yes, welcome, 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 welcome.
Welcome, Pebbles. Long time no see, and still looking beautiful.
Thank
Beautiful.
you. Thank you so much, ladies. How are you doing? I tried to find the live on Facebook, but I couldn't see it so I could share it.
Huh.
But
Okay.
I'm not sure what
Yeah.
went on, but
Thoughts. Okay. Well, that is something that we can definitely have our IT team work on, i.e., us. But
You're right.
nevertheless,
Because I
we will
tried to
figure that out.
Yeah, because I tried to share it too, and I don't know how it's set up that I can't share it either. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Well, I would take this time to say befriend us on our Facebook page, Kat Harvey, A Christine. So I know it's streaming live there, and it is also streaming live on both of our like personality pages, Kat Harvey's page and the A Christine page. Um, so maybe that's the only thing that I can think of. Maybe it's there, and
no,
maybe you just see it
I was
there.
just gonna try to share it. But
Okay.
nevertheless, good morning, ladies. How are y'all doing?
Good morning. Wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing well. I can honestly say, after the past year I've had in this
Yeah,
very moment, this is a great day for me.
all
This
I
right.
is
love that.
my this is my first Saturday off. I've
Mm,
been doing hair for professionally for 17 years,
Mhm.
and God has really been nudging me about working all Saturdays because I have children. And
mm.
so this is my first Saturday off, and I spent the first part of the morning going to get groceries for Thanksgiving. So
Yeah.
I'm really not off.
Are,
No, no,
are
you are
you
not.
are you cooking? Are you cooking Thanksgiving
I
dinner?
am cooking, and I just shared on my Facebook page before I logged in how I was conversing with my mom, and my mom is have some health issues, but she's still able to get around. And so
Yeah.
I'm doing the cooking at my house, and we're expecting at least 30 to 40 people at my house. And
Oh,
so I was like, so a couple of my immediate, like, inside my home love chitlins. I don't eat them anymore. And so
yeah.
I was like, Mom, I said, Mama, you don't have to cook them. I could cook them if you want me to. She said, baby, you my baby. She said, but I don't need everybody chitlins. She said, but you're going
Nobody but a mom can say that to you.
right.
Nobody but a mom.
But then she proceeds to say, "But you're gonna make your famous macaroni, right?" So on both sides, my mom's side and my dad's side,
Oh
they
my God.
love my macaroni, and I got the
Yeah.
basis of my macaroni from my mother-in-law, who I lost back in August of this
Mm,
year, and so. And then I added my own razzle dazzle to it over the years. And so I've created a dish that is highly requested from both sides of my family.
I
So
love
I'm
it.
excited. I'm excited. I was listening to you all talk about what you're thankful for, and I'm sure you'll ask me, but I'm going to go ahead and volunteer. I
Okay.
am thankful that my oldest child, my son, is home. I have not had my son home for
Oh,
10 years. So this is his first Thanksgiving home.
Mm,
Hence why we are having the biggest. I have one of my soul sisters that she and her husband is flying in from Vegas. Like, we
mm,
have family coming from, and we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have so
wow.
I'm so thankful with everything else, um I'm just so thankful that he's home, and
Yeah,
he's getting acclimated to being home.
I love
and
that.
I follow, your story because we're friends or something on Facebook. And so the way that you embraced your son coming back home and the preparation that you did,
Mm,
talk to some parents because, and I was able to share. So I did share to your page, I think, Pebble.
Okay.
I think I
Okay.
did. But talk to some people because once their child goes away, they're like, oh, you're not welcome back in my house, or
yeah, it's a tough hump to
you're
like come
not,
over.
I didn't raise you like that. So they turn their backs on
Mm,
their children. So talk
yeah.
about that experience. How did you embrace your son back? How did you that strength even to endure 10 years? That's a long time. That's a long
Yeah.
Listen, that's a very long time. And to be honest with you, until I started diving deep into my own personal healing journey, when I became in partnership with God about my healing,
Mm,
I no longer look to the church to heal me. I no longer look for outside sources to help heal me. However, God put the right people in my path to
yeah.
give me the tools, but ultimately I had to do the work. I had to do the inside work. But to your point, to your question, one of the things, my son, I was heavy, heavy in the church. When I tell you I was heavy in the church, I was heavy in the church. I grew up in the church.
Right.
And so my son always loved music and he always wanted to rap, but I wanted him to do what I wanted him to do, like
Mm,
most parents. Okay. And
Absolutely.
so it pushed him away, and he always had a thirst for the streets, just being honest. Well, he grew up around that. I was back in my younger days, I sold drugs. So he was always around that fast life.
Mm.
And
mm,
so I would say about 3 months ago, before he came home, I told him this. I said, son, I never thought you would have been in prison for what you are in prison for.
Mm.
And I may get judged, but I don't care. I
Yeah.
said, but had you to went to prison for drugs, it wouldn't have surprised me.
Right.
And the reason why is because of the environment. I was 15 when I had him. So
Mm.
we kind of grew up. My mom raised
together.
him. Yeah, so
Mm,
we grew up together. A lot of trials and wrongs and rights together. And so um when he got locked up, I mean, I shared a little bit on my page, on my Facebook page, on how I had to go in a different type of way of praying God to prepare me for the
Ah.
mm,
days ahead, because my son was facing life without the possibility of parole,
Mm.
my
and,
goodness.
and he was only 17 years old.
Mhm.
He turned 17 August the 8th, 2013. He got locked up August the 18th, 2013.
Wow.
So he literally had just turned 17 years old.
Mhm.
But prior to that, and it's so full circle, because prior to that, in 2012, he had got in trouble in school and in North Carolina. At that time, I don't know how the laws are now, but at 16, you get in a certain type of trouble, they'll lock you up. So it was around Thanksgiving when this happened. And my mom and my family was mad because me and my husband was like, he was suspended for school for 6 days. So we was gonna leave him in there the 6 days so he could
Mm.
see if this the life. Well,
Right.
they
Right.
went behind our backs and got him out. And so he then ran away. He left our home. And then about 8, 9 months later, this happened. And
Mm.
so a lot of forgiveness, it just with that story overall was happened because of how it happened. However, when you said, how did I embrace him and let him come home?
Mhm.
Because one part of me had to heal, and this is what I speak to moms and dads about now. One part of me had to heal that it wasn't my fault.
Ah. Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
I went a
Yeah.
long time thinking, you get the coulda, shoulda, wouldas, but
Right.
at the end of the day, I never forget when this thought came to my mind.
Mhm.
My child had two influences: his
Mm.
Mm,
parents and the
Right.
mm,
streets.
Environment. Yep. Mhm.
And so in his case, at that time, I looked at the streets won because I had changed my life so much then. But I looked at it, but I tell parents all the time, sometimes experience has to be the teacher. And so in my son's case, the experience was his teacher.
Absolutely.
And so, but I also tell people I lost my nephew, my best friend's son. We lost him I think this year made a year. So we're going on 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so January of last year. And at that time I had people that I known that had lost children, very young. But I always, even before losing my nephew, I always told people, I thank God it was the prison and not the grave.
Yes.
And so right now I get to hold my baby.
Right.
I get to love on my baby. I get to have those hard conversations that some parents don't get to have. Yeah. And I'll never forget that she was a client, but she also was a friend. It is a friend. She's still a friend of mine. Yeah. She was getting her hair done that day, and God began to use her. And this was when we was in the pre-trial phase. I'm talking about pre-trial phase.
We got you.
She literally showed me how my son was shooting. And I just began to cry because nobody knew but me and my son. Because my son, she said, Pebbles, there was an angel standing in front of your son saying, no. But my son told me about a week or two. It was either a week or two before, a week or two after. It's been 10 years, so I can't remember. That he could hear the bullets going past his ear.
Wow. But
he said the bullet said, ping, when it would hit something. So when she told me that, I had no other choice but embrace the fact that this might be his resting place for a moment.
Yes.
But God promised me it wouldn't be for a lifetime.
Thank you, Jesus.
And with that, I stood on that. And so having other children, I had, like, the holidays, I would be so depressed until I had to make a conscious decision. And then not only that, I had to watch the year that he was supposed to go to junior, senior prom. I had to watch people get their children together and do this. But instead, I was having to get prepared for a case where a judge would have my son's fate in his hands. And so I got through it through prayer, of course, through crying, but most importantly, the transformation within myself. Because I had to accept life for what it was handing me at that time and many times after. But then I had to make a conscious decision to change my life as well.
And I'm glad you talked about that because I want to share. And Michelle said she loves your transparency.
Thank you. I'm always a transparent person.
You are.
I am.
Ever when I first met you in that chair. Absolutely. And I think that's something that draws people to you because you are who you are. No matter where you meet, you see you.
Right.
And I think that's what I like about your spirit. I think that's what draws our spirits together because that's who I am. I'm always when I was first lady, I was Katrina. When I'm at work and running a business, I'm Katrina. If you catch me, I'm still Katrina. So
absolutely
different. Love me, hate me, whatever.
No changing faces. I love that.
Absolutely.
So talk about, because I see you had a dramatic weight loss. Oh my God, I'm like, she's a supermodel over here.
Hello.
You have to see
walking next down Victoria's Secret's runway.
You have to see all her pictures. I mean, she is slaying it. Okay.
I tell people I was a cheeseburger away from 400 pounds. A cheeseburger away from 400 pounds.
Wow.
In the year of, and a lot of that weight came from the burdens of life and my son being sentenced and in prison. So I ate. Food was and still can be my best friend.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
Understand.
I
and a
understand.
lot of times, Kat and Christina, people look at people who are struggling with drugs and alcohol, they turn their nose up at them. But
Mhm.
nobody's
Yeah.
turning their nose up at people who are addicted to sugar.
Come on.
Studies have shown that sugar affects the same side of the brain as cocaine.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
People don't talk about the sugar withdrawals when you sitting around with an attitude
It's true.
because you want something sweet, but you
Right.
trying to beat the craving.
It's true. No, it's
Talk
true.
So,
An
about it.
attitude and
Talk
a
about
headache.
right,
So now you double
right, the
here. I
headache,
get it.
right, the
I get it.
irritability.
it. Mhm.
I get
Mhm.
it. I get it.
Yes. And so 5 years ago, it was 5 years ago, I did have weight loss surgery.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay.
but I did not lose the maximum amount, and I went through this really, and I began to pick weight back up. If you go look at my picture a year ago or a little over a year ago, I was tipping back up towards 300. And
Wow.
I'm telling you, it has been a battle. But what I did is the more I heal within, it reflected outward. But then
Mm.
there's this thing when you turn 40, hormones want to kick in. So I always dealt with insulin resistance. I have the form of PCOS where I have the face. Y'all, I got a whole beard. I gotta go shave to this morning. I got a whole beard.
Nice.
And
Okay.
the acne and the bloating in the stomach. So a lot of that came in. I went to a doctor back in April and I was like, look, I've been on diet pills before. I've had weight loss surgery. It's like I don't know what else to do. And that woman, she was a white doctor and she took her time and she
Mm.
broke it down to me. And she said, look, your body cannot process carbs like a lot of people. Your metabolic index is not set up that way. And so,
Wow.
if you know me, which is the hair side of me, like I'm a hairstylist, but I tell people I do basic hairstyles. I'm not a finger wave person. I love color because it's formula. I love extensions because it's just, it puts me in a zone. But I love to study the hair and scalp and why your scalp and hair respond to different things. That is me. I love science. So I'm all intrigued when this doctor talking to me about this. And so she took me off cheese. What? Y'all, I would eat cheese out the bag, like chips. I would eat cheese. I love cheese. And I'm going to have me some, but I'm going to eat it in moderation because now I instantly get bloated and
Come
nobody
on.
likes me. So I had to lay off dairy because of the hormones in dairy. So I
Come
had
on.
to make some changes um in this next part of my journey. And since I'm going to say about Aprilish May, I've lost 40 more pounds. And so that was just me changing different parts. And I did have to get on a medicine to help. It wasn't diet pills or anything, but to help with the insulin resistance part. And so I just had to take and I'm still taking my health seriously.
Mhm.
And so that's one of the things that helped me to lose weight. But it took me going in my healing journey.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because even with weight loss surgery, a lot of times people think it's the quick fix. I promise you it's not.
Mhm.
Because if
It
you
is.
don't drink enough water, you won't lose. If you don't eat enough protein, you don't lose. And then there's days you got to pick, am I going to drink fluid or am I going to eat the protein? You see what I'm saying? So it's a mental thing. Everything about this life it has to do with your mental and your spirit,
Wow.
your mind and your spirit. But we're so earthly driven, we're so in what we hear
Mhm.
that it then affect the spirit because a lot of times they will say my spirit is heavy or something like that. No,
Right.
that's not your spirit, that's your soul. Your
Mhm.
Mm.
soul is your emotions.
That's
That's
right.
your soul that's heavy. The spirit is strong because if we're created in God's image and likeness,
Mhm.
Yeah.
we grab our spirit from our creator. So the spirit, so it's kind of like You'll say one thing spiritually, but then you'll say one thing from the human mindset, but you got to dive deeper, because if we
Yeah.
are created in God's image and God's likeness, the spirit is always strong. It's your soul that's weak.
So true. So
It's your
true.
soul that's weak. And so when I begin to deal with the soul part of my life changed. The weight
Wow.
began to fall off.
Wow.
But then I hit a bump in the road. So let me go to a medical doctor
Come
to
on.
see. And I'm a person of science too. How and a lot of people don't believe in metaphysics. I do, because it is your body is talking, but we're
Mhm,
not listening.
mhm,
But
mhm.
also when our bodies are talking, has something to do with our spiritual being, our
Mm,
soul. Like cancer. Cancer is a trap emotion
mhm, mhm,
that
mhm.
has manifested in the body, but we're trying to treat it in a
Yeah.
medical standpoint.
Medical fact.
No,
Yeah.
you have to also, I'm not saying don't do it medically.
Right,
Don't
Right.
right,
sue me.
right, right, right,
Don't
right,
sue me. But
right.
what I am saying, you have to
Yeah.
take the natural with the supernatural to come in together,
It's true.
and allow God to, because when people have cancer, it is trapped emotions, and it's based off of where the cancer is.
Absolutely.
Wow.
When
I
people, go ahead.
I love I love what you're talking about because
Yes.
we dived into this before, where even high blood pressure,
Yeah.
diabetes, all of
Mhm.
those are emotional traits. All of those are things
Absolutely.
that
Yeah.
you've held onto. You know it. Yes, it was so funny you mentioned it. Yesterday I was talking to my son and something happened at work and I was really passionate about it. And
Hmm.
he said, "Mom, you calm down. Your vein is popping in your neck." So I'm so sure if I checked my blood pressure at that
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
it would have been
Through
elevated.
the roof, right?
Absolutely.
It would have been
Yeah.
elevated.
Absolutely.
And I had,
Yeah.
and like you said, you have to come to yourself because I do. I catch myself and I say, Katrina, take some deep breaths. Let's
Mm-hmm.
take it to another level. Let's take it to another level because it is
Uh-huh.
so true. And so many different
Yes.
things. And we're always trying to treat things with medicine
Yeah.
because
Absolutely.
that's a big, and don't sue us because we are talking, do what your doctor tells you to do. We're not saying don't
Okay.
go to the doctor.
Yeah.
We're
We're
not
not
saying do
saying
that.
don't do that,
Do what you
but
feel you need to do. However,
but
like you, I'm more now into what's a natural remedy. I think
yes.
Hmm.
there's a tea, and I've been saying this for years. I think there's a tea for everything. I really
Mm-hmm.
do
Absolutely. Look at
because
Yep.
the part of the country, eastern part of the world. Asians treat symptoms
everything.
with
With come on.
herbs. But in the
Yes.
Western world, we're too busy trying to say it's hoodoo and voodoo
Mhm,
when it's healing. The
mhm,
earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof.
It is
So
true.
why are we pushing things away? But we're so, and that's even when it comes to the hair loss aspect of it, Kat and Christine. Anything white is going to affect. There's only two causes of hair loss:
mm,
your
Mm.
blood and your nervous system.
mm, mm, mm,
Your
Yeah.
blood and your nervous system.
mhm.
When you take chemo, it affects the blood. It also affects the nervous system
Same
because
here.
you are up under a lot of stress. You
Trust.
can
Yes.
look at some, and I don't know why I keep bringing up cancer, but whoever is dealing with it, I pray the healing of God over your
Yes,
life.
yes, yes.
Um, but when it comes down to it, you get someone who has, I have a very, very close friend. She's like a big sister to me that dealt with, is one of in her female part,
Uh-huh.
but she had came to me when I was doing Reiki, and I did Reiki on her, and she said, you said something when you said this, I don't even remember saying it. She said, I felt something in my stomach, in my pelvic area. Well, she started bleeding, and she went, and she's well over her 50s, so she went to the doctor, and that's when she found out that she had that type of cancer. I don't think it was ovarian cancer, it was the other one. But
Okay.
anyway, she took on such a positive approach that she went on with her life. Nobody would have known until they saw her hair come out.
Right.
She, don't get me wrong, she had moments, but she also had people that she called that was going to allow her to get it out. But
She
okay,
had a
okay,
very,
it's out.
she
Absolutely,
had,
it's out. So now let's pray about it.
Absolutely.
right.
You
Absolutely.
take someone who take a positive approach and
Absolutely.
someone who take a negative approach. I can almost put money on the person that's taking the negative side of it and running with it, that you will see them go down fast,
Yep. Fast.
Mhm,
Real fast. Yes.
mhm.
very fast.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Yeah.
if all our emotions take us wherever we allow it,
Hmm.
our emotions will
Yeah.
take us there
And
because
I'm
it starts with a thought. Go
It's
ahead.
true.
and I'm a
This is
study
so true.
of people in like you are science, human
Hmm.
nature. It does. So thinking back in our community, the Black and Brown community, where we are told from childhood to keep that inside.
Come on.
Yes.
Don't let that out. You don't need what happens in the house stays in the house. Nobody needs to know. How many times have we stuffed that down and held it
Oh,
down? So now it has become an ulcer. It's become high blood pressure. It's become diabetes. It's become, can't all these different
from a
diseases
lot of things.
because we've kept pushing it down. And then to add on to it, as you stated, because I can speak about this too, Pebbles, emotional eating. Food is now
Yeah,
our friend because I can't tell anybody else, but I can eat this cake
it's
because
Okay.
true.
that gives me some sort of, it messes with my endorphins. So it gives me some kind of, oh, I feel some kind of relief.
Mhm.
But then we're even damaging our bodies more
Yes.
because we're putting all this sugar into our bodies and we're helping this cancer spread. We're helping this diabetes spread. We're helping this high blood pressure, different things
Mhm.
spread because we're told to be quiet.
It's so
Yes.
true.
We can't share.
Wow. It can all start with being quiet. That,
Yes.
Have to watch.
wow.
And even we talked about, you tapped on it a little bit, Pebbles, about we are all believers. Everybody we're believers, right?
Mhm.
But
Absolutely.
we got to know the difference between that and religion.
Absolutely.
And a
True.
lot of times, even in our churches growing up, they were well intended. However, it was religion. A lot of it was religion. A
A
lot
lot of it
of
was
it was
a
religion
lot of it.
tradition.
Yeah.
And when you get to know the Lord for yourself and understand who He is, and then who you are, what He created you for, that's a different path than somebody else telling you who you are and what you do and how
Absolutely.
and how you're
It's
supposed
very true.
and how you're supposed to do it. So you touched on that, Pebbles, when you were saying you had an inner healing because you worked through some things. Help somebody now that's listening how to get on that path of healing.
One of the things I tell people is one of the hardest things I had to do. I've had a, some challenge in life. However, but one of the hardest things I had to do was look at me.
Mm-hmm.
You can
Cause
stop
in
right there.
look
That part.
Whoa.
and looking at me and no longer shopping, no
Mm,
longer
Yep.
over drinking, because I love the cocktail, I'm being honest. No longer partying.
mm,
I had to, those things were, me being on the go was keeping me from seeing me.
mm,
Yeah.
And the biggest controversial that just happened probably about a month ago was the shadow work journal. And I haven't even looked at that journal, but
mm,
I will say this. I don't know how anybody else explain it. I actually teach shadow work.
mhm,
And shadow work has nothing to do with discrediting Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, whoever you serve, because I'm a person, I respect who you serve or who you commune with. That has nothing to do with me.
mhm,
Number one. But what the shadow, when I begin to look at my shadow self,
mhm. Okay.
shadow is the unconscious part of our minds that controls our lives.
Mm,
We respond to things based off of who we was brought up around, who raised us. You know
absolutely.
how sometimes you say, "Who raised you?"
Mhm.
that determines a lot of who you are as an adult. And so I had to begin to look at at my ways. And I had to accept that half of the BS that I had went through in my life was based off of my decisions. But who wants to take that responsibility?
Not many.
And growing up in a Christian home, where everything is put on the devil, that to me is a cop out. It is, and I'm not saying the adversary is not real, very much so real. But what I am saying is this: half of the stuff people say, that dang devil, sometimes I have to catch myself because I just look at them like, child, that was you.
That was you. What was the saying back? The devil made me do it. No, that was
you.
That was a conscious decision. You wanted to do it.
Exactly. Exactly. So when I started owning my own BS, and BS is belief system in this case, then again, my path began to change. But I had to really dive in deep. And I had my mama and my daddy traits, even though I was raised in the house with my mama. I had my mama traits, and all her traits ain't good. She's a loving woman.
Yes.
A loving woman. Will feed me accepting people for who they are and where they are in their life came from my mom. My mom lives in a small town in North Carolina called Marshville. Everybody know everyone, and she was a mom and still can be that brings the drug addict and the drunk in her house because she gonna feed you. She gonna go in that kitchen. She gonna take what she have. And she don't have much, but she's going to take what she has and she going to feed you. And she going to tell you to get over there on that couch and take a nap, but you can't stay with her. But you're going to get you some rest. And she going to tell you, excuse my language, get your shit together. That's my mama. So that part of me is my mama. But that other part of me that was trying to get my children to live the life that I wanted them to live, that's also my mama.
Yeah.
And so being told, another part of a shadow is being told as a child, you do too much. You always talk and you do the most. It caused me to shrink as an adult. And so now I tell people, if you don't want me there, that's fine. But don't invite me. Because I'm going to show up being the most and doing the most. It was to a point. I love this was a lady that I used to work with. You get that? Okay, I'm glad I'm not alone. She was having a party. And y'all know I love to dress up. Either you're gonna see me looking like a hippie or you're gonna see me looking like a glam star. But I'm trying to find that middle part. So she said to me, this was some years ago. This was before I even started losing weight. She said to me, I need to see your outfit before you come to my party.
Okay.
I said, why? It's your birthday. You better show up like it's your birthday. Because again, I'm going to show up being the most, doing the most. I'm going to be me. And so over the years of me shrinking, even now I catch myself asking my husband, like Thanksgiving dinner, am I doing too much? Because I'm getting ready. When I get off with you all, I'm getting ready to start transforming my house because I need all the bells and whistles. So when the guests come, they need to be comfortable. Okay.
I get it.
I went to go buy new serving dishes to put because we're doing 2 turkeys because we want everybody to be able to eat. So I had to have the right setting for the people. Okay.
Yes.
That is me. Those are the people that are part of my now tribe. No, that is what That's just her.
Absolutely. Mhm.
That's
But
just
that's
her.
your norm, and that's okay. And I think it's important, like you said, the
Absolutely.
people who are in your tribe know that that is your norm, and they accept you in that. And hopefully, they hold you
Absolutely.
accountable when they see you only have one serving tray and not two.
Okay.
You know, like,
Okay.
Pepper, are you feeling okay? You feel like it seemed like you kind of, not yourself. And if yourself is big and boisterous and over the top and
Absolutely.
all your wonderful fabulousness, as soon as I see you not doing that, hey, you got a cold? You got the flu? What's going
Right.
on? You not having a good day? And it's
Right.
okay for our
It's
friends who are
totally
more
okay.
subdued, who may be more mild mannered, because
That's
that's your big, and that's
Right.
okay. But anyway,
Right.
go ahead, because I feel
No,
you. I
you're
feel
fine. You're fine. That's
I
and
feel you.
so my best friend, my best friend is totally opposite of me.
hmm
Mhm.
Totally opposite of me. Because she used to tell me, I don't understand you spending money on handbags like that. And I looked at her and said, I don't understand how you spend $200 or $300 on a meal. You can ready to go in there and shit out. At least, and me, I'm not about to do that. I'm not, but for her birthday, I'll do it for her.
Right,
But
right.
I'm not about to go spend $200-$300 for one person. No, no. At least with the handbag, if I
Look,
get tired of it, I can go sell it and make some money.
I'm
You know,
guilty on all, I'm guilty on all parts. So
I was
I
gonna say
I
I
am
want the
I
meal
am
and the bag.
handbags. I had to stop buying handbags because I have a
out of
very
control,
yeah, I'm out of control.
out of
I am that
control.
over the top person. My personality, especially going into business, and that personality is a lot. And I
It's a
know I'm a
lot.
lot. And
I'm a
like,
lot.
and sometimes you try to, and I did. I shrunk myself back, even through my marriage. And I want you to touch on that, but I know we don't have time, so we got to do a
Part
recording
two,
or
part two,
something, a
part
part two, because you talked about on your
a
post
lot.
a lot about the beta male. We gotta get into that because when you are alpha woman and you have a oh my god, we gotta get into that. We have to.
Yes.
Yes.
We have
Can we?
Being
we
married to a beta male is so
we
rewarding if you allow it to
teach
manifest.
me, teach me,
You
because
know
I
what?
can't.
An alpha male is really not as strong as people say they are. Sometimes them alpha males be having a little man syndrome, and so they have this big personality to cover
Yeah,
that up.
yeah.
But a
Mhm.
beta male is so content in who they are that they don't mind allowing. Listen,
This is a
a
whole nother
beta a
episode on its
beta
own.
male will sit back and chill and watch his woman shine.
See,
Because in his head, now we ain't always been there, and we went through some
right.
things just this past year where we was about to do this, and then,
You gotta give
however,
you gotta give us a time when you can come back, Pebbles, because
yes,
I want to do a deep dive into that
Yes. I don't
because
even want to
yes,
do a spoiler.
another that's a whole
yes,
nother story.
it
It
is
is.
I want to
because
do a deep dive in this, but I want you to take the last minute or so and talk to that person who dares to dream. They've stopped, they shrunk themselves down to fit
Yeah.
in this box. And they have so much greatness inside, but their environment and the people they're around are always telling me, "You doing too much, you this, you that, you're the other." Talk to that person.
listen, let
Please.
me tell you something. The hardest thing to do is something. I'm not going to say the hardest thing. I'm going to talk about me because I'll tell you what E Hollywood won't tell you. The hardest thing for me was to accept that God gave me all this energy, all this love. This one lady told me, she said, Pebbles, you just a ball of love. I don't like people for real, but I love people.
You
I
preaching to
love
me,
people for real
facts. I say that all
because when people get on my nerves and I get on people's nerves, like I am a ambivert. I love to be around people, but then I need my alone time. Leave me alone.
yes.
But
You
when you accept that you can be who God created you to be and be okay with the people that you've grown up with, the people that you just met, falling off and allowing your aligned tribe to come and align with you, Because your aligned tribe is going to push you.
Mm-hmm.
And that beta husband of mine pushes me. He challenges me.
Yeah.
Those are your people. If your people are not challenging you, if you walk in, if you have to plan how you going to respond to something somebody say that's catty or shady and petty, you don't need to go. That's not your people. If you got a plan how you going to do or feel or act around certain people, that's not your tribe. Your
Yeah.
tribe allows you to show up. And when you show up, you can live the life that God has called you to live. And so even when it's time to pivot in your dreams, it can be challenging. It can put you in a dark place if you allow it. But if you understand that there is so much growth and abundance and solitude, you can go far. But in order to dream, you have to accept who you are and accept who you are fully. Because what happens when you dream, you get taken out of your comfort zone. I just saw a post that said, declare, thank God for opening the door. And I was thinking to myself, and I typed, but then I deleted it. I said, because what people don't realize, you can thank God for opening the door, but you can struggle for the door that closed behind you. So that's where you got to go in prayer about. Yes, God, lead me in the path of righteousness. And righteousness is just not religion or spirituality. Righteousness is your way of being and dreaming. Lead me in the path of righteousness, but for your name's sake. However, but give me grace and the power and the ability to release what I left behind. Because that's the hard part.
That's the hard part.
That's the hard part. And then I made a post about this months ago, and it says, what do we do when we get to the table and in the presence of our enemies, and we see people that we thought had our back? Guess what? We eat and we leave no crumbs.
It's the truth, because I work to still get this seat. So I'm hungry now.
We eat. Because in the word of God, it says God will prepare a table for you in the presence of your enemies. Yep. And sometimes your enemies, even Jesus' enemy was walking with him.
Exactly.
And you need the kiss for the promotion.
Absolutely. I love it.
The kiss is in the promotion. So even when it comes to the table and you see your homegirl sitting over there and you looking around like, am I at the wrong table? Because God, you said my enemies was at this table, but I'm seeing this face right here. You eat, and what they say, you leave no crumbs.
No crumbs.
And then the wine that was prepared at the table, you sip. And you say, hey girl, hey boy, hey. And you go on. Now, when you see that, you then have to make a conscious decision. Are you going to hold a grudge? Because again, holding a grudge is trapped emotions, and trapped emotions produces my mentor says dis-ease in our body.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Absolutely.
So we leave no crumbs. Living your dreams, and it's okay to redream again. It's okay to say, I no longer, without having to explain why. Why we feel like we got to explain why. I just don't want to do it anymore. Because I look on my services, if I haven't touched the service in the last 3 to 6 months, it's coming out. Why? Because it's no longer serving me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They used to laugh at me. They said, Katrina, you could throw away anything. I said, if something can sit for a year, I don't need it. If it can sit for a year, I can throw it away. I don't need it anymore. It's not beneficial to me. And so I learned I am resonating with so many things that you are saying.
Yeah.
That's why I know we have to get you back on. But we just want to tell you, dare to dream and dream again and redream, as Peebles just told us. It's okay. and find your tribe. Find the people who are going to push you and encourage you to be who you are. They know you a lot. I love, and you see every time I travel, a lot of times it's with Bestie. Bestie knows me. He knows I'm a lot. He knows it's going to be extra, but he accepts me for who I am, regardless.
I love that.
And he pushes me when I need to be pushed. And when I'm in error, he go, really, Kat? Like, come on, let's think about this. This is not. And so I thank God that he has surrounded me with people who can say to me, and it's not a big crowd. That's what we got to understand.
Yes.
It's not a big crowd. It's not going to be 1,000 people shouting, Kat, Kat. It's like 3 people. And you like, but I support it.
But that's true.
I support everybody I can, but I got 3 people going, come on, girl, you can do it. But that's okay.
True.
That's okay. And Pebbles, I laugh because the line that you said, I say it all the time. I say, I don't like people, but I love people. I love them, but I don't like people at all because people crazy. Like, and I said, and this is the thing, I realized that all of us got some issues, right? Everybody
absolutely has. So I got big issues.
I'm like, but if you realize yours too, it would be better. Like, we can come on, but you don't realize you have any. So yeah, I don't like people. I have to deal with people, and I deal with a lot of people because of the industry. I'm in the hospitality industry. That's people all day, every day. But when I can come home and sit on my red couch, close the door,
red couch,
my red couch, and the door.
It is true.
The best time of my life.
It is true. I get it.
And I think I do, but then I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I am good being by myself. My son says, Mom, it's going to be hard for you to find a guy, a man to find you because you two in love with yourself. Like, they got to compete with you. And I'm like, really, Andrew? But, but I get it. I get it. When you find that peace in yourself and when you find out who you really are. Do I still have some struggles? Absolutely. Because I want to talk about this shadow work that you're
talking about. That was good.
How can people reach you, Pebbles? What's your handle on Instagram? How can they reach you? And
I am. Before I go into that, I'm going to say this to the people. A good way to know your tribe is you won't always hear from them every day. It might even be months, might even be years. However, they will hear you. Not all of them, but the majority of them will hear you when you don't say a word.
They will hear your heart.
They will hear your heart. There are people that will reach. Absolutely. Absolutely. But you can find me on Facebook as Peebles Dockery. Instagram, I think I'm the healing hairstylist, or Peebles Dockery. It'll come up. pdionbeauty.net. You can Google me. I'm Googleable.
Yes, Google me.
He said Google me. Google me.
I'll come up. I have some amazing things that's happening. We're getting ready to take, it's 12 of us now, but we have room for 2 more sets of couples that's going to Tulum, Mexico for the Hill Vow.
Because it was couples.
Yes. Yeah. Really? But there are other trips that's coming up that I love to travel. I can honestly say I've taught in Costa Rica. So I'm an international motivational speaker, however you want to put it.
I love it.
I'm not about titles, y'all. I promise I'm not. But I've traveled all over the world. I just got back in July. We were in the eastern part of the world. We went to Bali, we went to Thailand, went back to Dubai. I love to travel, so I am in the process of still building out my website. Even though it's up, it is the sunchaserstravel.com. It's new, so I think that's it. Yeah, sunchasetravel.com is my travel site. I help people put trips together. I help people put retreats together. I am in a space. If I love doing it, I'm doing it.
I love it. I love it.
And that's how you dream. That is
Mhm.
how you dream. Do what you love doing. And next time it rained, I said I'm going to go play in the rain.
Okay, I love it. So
I-
I'm
So
glad you
yes.
mentioned, sorry to cut you off, about the trip
Mhm,
thing,
you're fine.
because when we do girlfriends weekend, we definitely want you to plan it and be a part of that. So
Yes.
Absolutely.
that's about a healing journey. That's about having fun. That's about we
Absolutely.
titled it "My Scars Make Me Beautiful."
Yes.
Woo,
Because no
child.
matter what you went through,
It's deep. It's deep, but it's
yes,
good.
no matter what you've gone through,
That will preach a
yeah, as they
whole
say, that will
series,
preach. Yes, yes,
a
yes,
whole,
Yes.
yes.
because there's beauty in our ashes. But y'all know I can talk.
Don't
But
do
I'm
it.
telling
Don't do
you,
it, because both of us together,
see,
it'll come.
look now, look here.
I
You
get
you
it.
brought it up. You brought it up, and that thing just hit me right here in my shanana.
My scars make me beautiful.
They make
It
you
is.
the most beautiful person in the world
Yes.
Yes.
So
because
Yes.
guys,
They
it's
are
in your
unique when
scars.
you
so guys,
belong.
stay tuned for that, because we will be posting about that. It's going to be next year during the,
Yes.
like, the spring, between summer and fall of next year. Usually
Yeah.
we do it around September. But My
Okay.
Scars Make Me Beautiful is going to be a phenomenal girlfriends weekend. So grab your girlfriends now. Already start planning
Yes.
with
Mhm.
some island. There's going to be some healing, some fun, some laughter, just some crying, just to get it
Yes.
all
And
out.
that's okay.
It happens. And then you make friendships that last a lifetime. It goes from being
Absolutely.
girlfriends to sisterhood. So
Yeah.
definitely stay tuned for that. I gotta get with Pebbles now, because I gotta see when we can get her back on, because we gotta talk
Okay.
about
Yes,
this
please.
we got to talk about this beta man. And I just thank you, Pebbles, so much, because you are so busy. I just thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much for agreeing
Thank
to come
you.
on and share and
Yes.
be our guest. You are a phenomenal woman. I love your story. I love sharing your transparency and being open and seeing the different parts of your life, the good, the bad, the ugly. I love it. The
A-
greatness.
Absolutely.
I love it. And thank you, thank you, thank you, because through your life, so many lives have changed, because your
Yeah.
Yes.
story inspires. Your story
Yes.
uplifts and encourages. So we thank you. And if we could ever do anything for you, please reach out, because
Let
we're
us
there.
know.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to see how I'm getting down to North Carolina for Thanksgiving
For
festival.
dinner, okay? I'm looking on Google right
Listen, we about
now.
to have a
One way
whole
ticket.
spread. We about to have a whole spread over here. And then I'm just excited about it because it's been about 2 years since we hosted things, because there was things that I was dealing with personally, my husband was dealing with personally, and then we was dealing with it as a couple, then as a family,
Yeah.
and we just had to pause
Yeah,
I
and
get
get
it.
l- life is life and out here for everybody.
For
And
everybody.
all
sure.
I ask is just people give people grace. You don't
Yes,
know,
yes,
behind a smile is a tear.
yes.
So I'm excited to come back. We'll talk whenever we come out so we'll know, and I can put it in my calendar and put my alarm on. I have to use, because my phone is only going to be as smart as I tell it to be.
It's,
And so
Hello.
I'm excited to come back and talk about it.
I
I
love
love
it.
it. I love it.
I'm gonna let you wrap us up. Give us your final thoughts and wrap us up.
Listen, I'll be short and sweet. Pebbles, thank you. Kat, thank you as always. Dare to dream, y'all. Know yourself, love yourself, extend grace. I pray that grace is also extended to you. We've been saying it since we ever came on. Find your tribe, and now let that tribe find you. Do that inner work, but again, dare to dream. Okay, everybody.
Absolutely.
Until next time, we love you. Thank you so much, Pebbles.
Bye.
Thank you.